Chances are, if you are subscribed to this channel or have been recommended this video, you have an above average knowledge in geography, meaning a lot of the facts I'm about to give you, you might already know. However, for the average Joe who has little to no interest in geography, some of the facts I'm about to reveal might just well blow their mind. Again, if you have a keen interest in geography, you probably already know many of the following facts, but perhaps a few might catch you out. Even as someone who absolutely loves geography, even I was caught out by a couple of these when doing my research. Like for example, our first fact. So let's imagine the Panama Canal in our heads on a world map. For me, it always cut through the country of Panama from east to west or vice versa. However, this isn't actually the case. The canal runs through the country vertically from north to south. The man-made canal starts near the city of Colón in the north and then empties out into the Panama Bay not far from the capital, Panama City. Number 2. Finland is not Scandinavian. So when people think of Scandinavia, they may assume that it's this clump of countries here. However, the term Scandinavia only includes Norway, Denmark and Sweden. The term Scandinavian is not interchangeable with the Nordics, which does include Finland as well as Iceland. Number 3. The Sahara Desert is not the largest desert on Earth. Now I guarantee if you were to go out in public and ask 100 random people what the largest desert on Earth is, the absolute vast majority would confidently answer with the Sahara, which is technically not true. To be classified as a desert, a region has to receive less than 10 inches of rain per year. And as it doesn't really rain but snow in Antarctica, the Antarctic desert is by far the largest on Earth. It is in fact about 50% larger than the Sahara. However, in terms of non-polar deserts, the Sahara is the largest. Number 4. New York City is not the capital of New York State. Again, if you were to ask 100 random people on the street, I almost guarantee everyone would say that New York City is the capital of New York State, as this is the most logical answer, right? However, with the seat of the New York State government being found in Albany, this makes it the capital of the state. Albany is found around 250 kilometers north of New York City, just west of the border with Massachusetts. Number 5. Now, it's fair to say that North Korea and Finland are very far away from one another. In fact, some nearly 7,000 kilometers. So most people would probably think that you'd have to travel through several countries in order to get from one to the other. However, it is completely possible to drive from Pyongyang, North Korea to Helsinki, Finland by crossing just one country. That country, of course, being Russia. Number 6. So if you were to ask most people what the closest country to Australia is, many people may instantly reply with New Zealand. However, this isn't the case as both Indonesia and Papua New Guinea are easily closer. Number 7. Which city do you think is the largest within the Mediterranean region? It's gotta be a city from Greece, Italy, Spain or France, right? Well, it's actually a city found in Africa. It is Alexandria of Egypt, a city which you might not perhaps first associate with the Med. If you did know this, then that's pretty darn impressive. The population of Alexandria is just over 6 million. The next largest would be Barcelona, whose metro population is around 5.5 million. Barcelona is also home to the headquarters of the Union for the Mediterranean. Number 8. When you think of the islands of the Pacific, you likely think of islands like these, tropical paradises full of palm trees and coral reefs. However, not all Pacifican island chains look like this. These are the Aleutian Islands found off the coast of Alaska in the North Pacific. These islands are mountainous in nature and can get pretty chilly, seeing snowfall, ice sand, even icebergs. Number 9. The UK, England and Great Britain are not interchangeable terms. Now, being from the UK, this is of course common knowledge for me. However, I've lost count at the amount of times I've had to explain the differences between the terms to people when I've been travelling abroad. The UK is the sovereign nation made up out of England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Great Britain is this landmass here, which includes England, Wales and Scotland. It is not a country. And then England is this country here, which is part of the 4 which make up the UK. A little complicated, I do understand. This means that the term British and English are also not interchangeable, as being English means you're from England, but being British also includes those from Wales and Scotland. Number 10. The Sahara Desert is not the driest non-polar desert on Earth. That title belongs to the Atacama Desert found in South America. The Atacama is said to only receive 0.6 inches of rainfall per year, significantly lower than that of the Sahara. Some parts of the Atacama haven't seen rain in over 500 years. Number 11. Although perhaps the most well-known, the Dead Sea is not the saltiest body of water on Earth. With a salinity level of around 33%, the Dead Sea is most certainly a very salty place. However, the Don Juan Pond in Antarctica is thought to have a salinity level of some 44%. Number 12. Although home to the world's tallest mountain and arguably the most well-known mountain range on Earth, the Himalayas is not the longest. The Himalayan mountain range stretches some 2,500 kilometers across Asia, whereas the Andes in South America stretches some 7,500 kilometers, some 3 times longer. Number 13. Even though the US is by far the richest country on Earth in terms of GDP, as well as having its currency used in many countries across the world, the US dollar is not actually the world's strongest currency. At the time of making this video, it actually ranks 10th. The Kuwaiti dinar ranks first, where $1 will get you around 0.31 dinars. Number 14. This is another incorrect fact that I've personally came across many times, especially when I was traveling throughout South America. Most people assume that Mexico and Central America is part of South America. It logically makes sense as they are all more culturally and linguistically tied to the continent. However, all 8 countries in this region, alongside those in the Caribbean, are actually North American. When you look at a world map, the most northern parts of Mexico are actually more further north than many major American cities such as Miami, Orlando or Houston. Number 15. Although the Portuguese live a very Mediterranean lifestyle, Portugal is not Mediterranean. The climate, food and culture is of very Mediterranean style, but the country does not have any contact with the Mediterranean Sea. It sits west and southwest of Spain and only has coast along the Atlantic. Number 16. Although Venice is perhaps the most famous canal city on Earth, it does not have the most canals nor the longest. For example, both Birmingham in England and Amsterdam have more. Number 17. The Amazon is not the largest forest on Earth. Although perhaps the most famous forest on the planet, it is nowhere near the largest. It is the largest rainforest, however. The award for the largest forest on Earth goes to the taiga, which stretches across North America, Europe and Asia for some 17 million kilometers squared, almost 3 times larger than the Amazon. Number 18. Of the US's 50 states, which do you think has the most southern point? If you imagine the world map in your head, it's got to be Florida, right? Well, that is correct for the contiguous states, but if you include Hawaii, then this is where you'll find the country's most southern point. Number 19. Now imagine Mexico in your head on a world map. For me, South America sits pretty much directly below it. However, this isn't true. Mexico is easily found further west than the entirety of the South American landmass. Another one that doesn't seem right until you look at a world map. Number 20. The UK is commonly referred to as being a Western country, meaning it sits within the Western Hemisphere. However, as Prime Meridian runs straight through London, this means that part of England, such as Cambridge, Norwich or Dover, are in the Eastern Hemisphere. The same hemisphere as the likes of Beijing, Tokyo or Jakarta. Number 21. Mont Blanc is arguably the most iconic and famous mountain in all of Europe. It is also pretty tall. Most people would likely assume that it's the tallest on the continent. However, it isn't the tallest nor even the second tallest. The tallest is in fact Mount Elbrus found in Russia, followed by Mount Saqqara in Georgia. Number 22. The Northern Lights are one of the greatest wonders of planet Earth. The people who live up north must be so lucky to see them, right? However, it isn't just those living in the northern parts of the world that get to see this wonder, as the southern lights are also a thing. The aurora australis can be seen across parts of Australia, New Zealand and Antarctica, to name but a few places. Number 23. Which US state do you think has the most islands? I'd guess that most people would probably instantly assume Hawaii. However, there is actually a state who has around 20 times more islands. Any ideas which state? Well, with some 2,670 islands, Alaska has by far the most, which comes to no surprise given the fact it is also by far the largest. Number 24. When you think of Siberia, you likely think of freezing cold, miserable conditions. However, the region can get very hot in the summer. The highest temperature ever recorded in the region was 38 degrees Celsius in June of 2020. Number 25. Although the term 7 seas has been used throughout history, there are far more than 7 seas around the world. A sea is effectively a part of an ocean that is surrounded by land, to which there is no defined amount. Although some sources claim about 50. At 5.5 million kilometers squared, the Philippine Sea is said to be the largest. Number 26. When you imagine Greenland, you likely imagine it to be covered in ice, snow and glaciers, which for the most part is absolutely correct. However, there are some parts of the island along its southern coast that are ice-free, such as its Kingwa Valley, where you'll actually find forest. Number 27. Although Cyprus is more culturally and politically linked to Europe and is literally part of the European Union, it is geographically actually part of Asia, meaning the people there could technically be classed as Asian. Number 28. Believe it or not, Europe actually does have a desert. The Tabernas Desert can be found in southeastern Spain. Although very small at just 280 kilometers squared, it is still classed as Europe's only desert. Number 29. It makes sense to think that all EU countries use the euro, which is true for the most part. However, in fact, 7 countries do not use this currency, being Bulgaria, Czechia, Denmark, Hungary, Poland, Romania and Sweden, meaning the other 20 do. And finally, number 30. We'll finish with another fact that is hard to believe. So again, let's visualize a world map in our heads. Let's think of where Cairo and Miami are both plotted in their respective countries. Surely Cairo is found further south than Miami, right? Well, this isn't the case. Cairo is actually found slightly further north than the city of Miami in Florida. So there we have it, 30 geography facts that most people would probably get wrong. If any of these facts did catch you out, let us know which ones in the comments below. Like and subscribe for more geography content, and as always, thank you very much for watching.